Hi, for the best of chess, here with you is Master Bojan Jovanovic. Today we will study tactical element of double attack for a hard level. We will use our three-step process to find all combinations. As I said in our previous lesson, first step is to make an estimation of the position, quantitative and qualitative, to discover pluses of R and minuses of opponent's position. Second step will be to make a plan how to use these pluses of R and minuses of opponent's position. And final step will be to find and calculate all candidate moves, which will help us to execute our plan. And I will remind you that in the combinations everything is forced. Now we will start with examples. This is our first example, and we will start with our three steps process. And first step will be to make estimation of the position, and we will start with quantitative estimation. And we can see that white has queen, two rooks, bishop, and 6 pawns. On the other side, we can see that black has queen, two rooks, bishop, and 7 pawns. So black is pawn up, material advantage is on his side. Next, what we will do is to make a qualitative estimation of the position, and we can see that white has a very safe king on g1, a very active queen, which is attacking this weak pawn on f7, and this rook on a8, and rook on e1 is doing also a very good job protecting this e5 pawn, which is giving to white space advantage on the king side. Rook on d7 is also very strong and powerful because he's in control of 7th rank. Bishop on e7 is attacking this c5 pawn, and also he's creating some threat on the king side about mating. On the other side, black has a weak pawn on f7, and that is the reason why his king is also weak. Black rooks are somehow very in defense position. They are just protecting each other and doing nothing more. This bishop on g7 is protecting a dark square around the black king and attacking this pawn on e5, but he is also very defensive. Only good piece in black camp is this queen on c2, which is very active. Now we should go for our second step to make a plan how to use these minuses of black position and pluses of white's position. And we can easily realize that we should attack this weak pawn on f7, and we can do that by moving this bishop and attacking that pawn with this rook. So we will have two candidates moves. First one is bishop c5, and second is bishop d8. After bishop c5, pawn on f7 is hanging, and only way to protect that is queen f5. After this move, white is probably just slightly better. So we should try to calculate our second candidate move, that is bishop d8. And now we can see that we are again attacking this pawn on f7, but now we have also a very big threat to take this rook on a8. And after some move like rook a d8, we can see that after queen f7, king h8, queen g7, mate. So rook a d8 doesn't work, so black must defend somehow this pawn on f7, and he can manage to do that with queen f5, and after that black rook is going to fall, so white is winning again. So bishop d8 was created this double threat, and we used this three steps process to discover this combination again. We will now go for our next example. This is our second example, and we will start with estimation of the position. First we will go to quantitative analyze, and we can see that white has two rooks, bishop, knight, and 5 pawns. Black on the other side has queen, rook, bishop, and 4 pawns. And we can conclude that white has a rook, knight, and a pawn for a queen. And from material point of view, black is slightly better. Now we will go to qualitative analysis of the position, and we can see that white has very exposed and bad king on g2. He has also undeveloped rook on a1 and bishop on c1, but knight on c3 together with rook on f6 creates some threat about bad geometry between black king and black queen. On the other side, we can see that black has a very bad king also in the center of the board, and a queen which can make some bad geometry with black king, and also undeveloped rook on a1 and bishop f8. So main minus in black position is this weak king in the center of the board, and we should try to use that and some possible geometry between king and queen. So our plan should be to open the position and to, as quickly as possible, is to develop our pieces. And by the way, black is treating to play queen g7 and to make a double attack to give a check and attack this rook on f6. So we will go now for candidate moves. First candidate move will be bishop b2, and second will be d4. We will start with calculating our first candidate move. After bishop b2, black cannot play king f6 because of this bad geometry between king and queen, and after knight d5 check we will win the queen. So king f6 is a bad move, but black can move his queen with check and then to take a rook on f6. Of course, again there is two possibilities: queen b7 check and queen g7. After queen b7, white has option of playing rook f3, and now position is not so clear anymore. So we will go to second option, that is queen g7 check, and now we can make a couple of moves with our king. For instance, after king h1 there is queen b7 check, and now rook is going to fall because we cannot play rook f3 anymore. And after some random move, let's say knight d5, king d5, black is completely winning. So king h1 is a bad move. After king h3, also black has this check on d7, and then rook is going to fall. And the last option is to come on f5 with king, and let's say king f2 for instance. But again, black can take this rook with check, and after king e2, king e6, black is completely winning. So bishop b2 is not so good move. We will go to calculate our second candidate move. It is d4. After d4, check, black has two options, to take on f6 with his king, and to take on d4 with pawn. And after king f6, again there is a bad geometry between black king and black queen, and after knight d5, black queen is going to fall, so cd4 is forced, and after ed4, king d4 is forced again. We have again two options to try to develop our bishop on b2 and on e3. After bishop b2, we are treating to play knight b5 check and to take a queen. So black should move his queen, and after queen b7, for instance, king g1, bishop c5, position is not so clear, even black can be slightly better. So bishop b2 is not so good move. We will go to our second candidate move, that is bishop e3. Now black has a couple of options, and we can see that if he plays king e5, now we can play bishop b4 and to make a double attack. After king f6, bishop c7, let's say rook c8 to try to recapture his piece, and we can play some move, for example rook e1, and black is not able to take on c7 because of again bad configuration between his king and his rook, and after knight d5, black rook is going to fall. So king e5, first option, was not so good, and we will go to second option, that can be to take on e3. But after this move, again there is some bad geometry between this king and queen, and after knight d5, black queen is going to fall. Let's say king e4, knight c7, and white is winning. Another option is to take on c3, and after that white can play rook c1, and after king d3, rook c7, king e3, rook h7, white is winning. And last option for black is to play king d3. After this move, we can conclude that we need to force black king to take some of these pieces on c3 or e3, and we can do that by making a check with rook d1. And after this move, black has three options. First option is to play king c3, and we will go to same line like before. After rook c1, king d3, rook c7, king e3, rook h7. So this is not so good. After king e3, black made some bad geometry between king and queen, and white can win a queen, but white has even better move to mate black queen with this beautiful rook f3. So king e3 is again a bad move, and the last option for black is to play king c2, and after this move, rook f2 check, king c3, rook c1, and black queen is going to fall. After king d3, rook c7, king e3, rook h7, white is winning, and we again use this three-step process to find this combination and to use this very bad position of black king. We will now go for next example. This is example number 3, and we will start with estimation of the position. We can see that white has queen, rook, bishop, and 5 pawn, and black has queen, rook, knight, and 5 pawn. So material is even, and we are going to qualitative analyze, and we can see that white has a very weak 8 rank, and with that this king on h8 is very weak, and also only piece which protect is this 8 rank is this rook on e8, and he is also unprotected, so we should try to use this minuses in black position. On the other hand, white has a very active pieces queen on c4, bishop on d6, and rook on f4. So we should make a plan how to use these pluses and minuses in the position, and obviously we should deflect this rook on e8 to try to make a mate. And there are three candidate moves. First is a very logical move to take this pawn on d4, but after this move black has rook e1 check, and after rook f1, knight e3, there is a threat of mate and to take on f1, so double attack, and black is winning. So queen d4 is not good move. Another option is to play queen e2 to try to deflect this rook on e8 and to attack knight on g4, so this is double attack. And there is two options for black. First is to try to take this queen, but then we will mate our opponent by playing rook f8. And second is better, and to play knight e3, and after rook d4 white is better, of course, but a position is still playable, so we should find even stronger move than queen e2. Okay, we can came to the conclusion that we can use this same idea but another move, and that is queen e6. We are using the same technique in this position, and we are attacking this knight on g4 and rook on e8. And again, black has a couple of options to take on e6, but then again rook f8 mate, and to play, for instance, queen g6 to try to protect this rook, but then after queen g4 white is piece up, so white is winning. And last option is to try to move this knight from this attacked square and to protect rook on e8 in the same time. And again we will use this weakness of 8 rank, and that will allow us to take this rook on e8, and after knight e8 rook f8 mate. So weakness of 8 rank allowed to us to make a double attack and to win this game. We are going now for our next example. This is example number 4. We will start with estimation of the position. We can see that white has queen, knight and 5 pawns, and black has also queen, knight and 5 pawns, so material is even. Now we will go to qualitative analysis of the position, and we can see that white has a very strong position of his king on g2, which is very safe, and his queen on b2 is very active, and she is treating to infiltrate in position of black. Knight on d5 is also very active and can create some threat about bad geometry between black king and black queen. And the main plus in the position of white is this pawn on c7, which creates many threats with his promotion into a queen. On the other side, black king is very weak and he is very exposed. Also, this queen is currently doing a great job and attack this pawn on c7 and this knight on d5, but she can create bad geometry with this king on e8 in some situation, and this knight is attacking this pawn on c7, so white should find a plan how to use these minuses of black position and pluses of his position, and that must be forced because obviously black is treating to take this pawn on c7. So there is a two candidate move. First move is queen b5 and second is queen b8. After queen b8 check, and black is forced to play king d7, we can see that white cannot achieve so much because he cannot promote his pawn on c8 into a queen, and he cannot make improvement of his position. So queen b8 is not so good idea. And second candidate move was queen b8. Obviously, black is in trouble because his queen is protecting this square of promotion, and she will be deflected with this move of queen b5. And black has two options in this position: to try to protect his queen with king d7, but then after c8 queening, king c8, queen c6, there is a double attack, and white is completely winning. So king d7 is not a good idea. Another option is to take this queen on b8, and after this move we can see that we can create this threat of using a bad geometry between black king and black queen. And if black protects his king from check with knight d8, that will be immediately possible with knight c7. And if he play a stronger move, king f7, we can see that there is some bad geometry between black queen and black knight, and we should find a way how to bring black king on this square of e6 to use this bad geometry. And only logical move is to sacrifice this queen on e6 for this knight, and after king e6 there is some bad geometry between this king and queen, and we can use it by playing knight c7, and after some random move, for instance king d7 and knight b5, white is completely winning. This was our last example for today. As I said in a previous lesson, I will give you an advice how to practice tactical element of double attack and combinations at all. My advice is that you should analyze as much as possible games of strong players and to try to recognize moments when they use a double attack in the game and also combinations at all. This was lesson about tactical element double attack for hard level, where we used our system of thinking to find all of these combinations. In next lesson, I will show to you tactical element of discover attack for an easy level. For the best of chess, this was FIDE Master Bojan Jovanovic. Thank you for watching this lesson, and I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.